Okay, then, good evening and welcome to another Thursday Night Live on SCFC Fan TV. Tonight, with myself, Wee Philly, we have Michael Bowers, Jacob Kirkbride, we have the Mad Mistake, we got Dino, and joining us, our editor for SCFC Fan TV, we got Conrad. Woohoo! Just a quick one. Sean is working tonight, so he's not available. So that's why Sean isn't with us. We're going to be talking all things Sunderland, looking ahead to Saturday's game against Swindon Town. And as usual, we are live, so we are available via the live chat. If you want to mention or you want to contribute and ask us any questions, we'll do our best to try and answer them. Already on the live chat, SAFC Connor will say hi to you. Casey Cameron Jude, our friend, hello to you. Stephen Hensel, friend of the show, hi to you as well. Trinidad Mackham, we love him, all right. David Walker, Jeff Holcott, and it's Bobby Curley. And quickly before we start, Wayne Duran as well. So hello to you lot. Looking ahead to Saturday, when we play Swindon Town, newcomers to our league. We've had that international break. The results didn't go too badly for us. So what are we expecting from Saturday, Michael?
Okay, I'm going to mute myself now. Right, so it's, as you said, the results didn't go too badly for us, all things considered, during the international break, which obviously it's debatable whether you want the fixture against Blackpool should have been postponed in the first place. Look, Saturday, expect 3 points. Swindon have had an inconsistent start of the season. I think they've beaten Rochdale, and I think it was Burton Albion. I could be wrong there. And then I think they lost last week to AFC Wimbledon. They've lost to Blackpool, and they lost to Peterborough. So they're going to provide a test. I can't remember the last. Does any of you know the last time Swindon and Sunderland met in a league fixture? Because this is it must be the first time in God knows how many years, so they'll be up for it.
Would it be the 105-point season?
Well, I remember, but I'm older than you lot. But I remember playing them in a playoff final at Wembley, and them beating us, but it was still going up.
I know.
I don't know. It's a while. I mean, I suppose there's the Paolo Di Canio link. You know what I mean? He did exceptionally well at Swindon. So, I don't know, it's been a while since we played them, but you expect good things, Michael, yes?
I would hope so. As long as we don't have any ketchup, we should be fine.
Jacob, what do you think for Saturday?
I still think it will be a difficult game, even though they're sitting 15th in the league after 5 games, scoring 8, but they have shipped in 9. So I expect us to at least do a good job to take advantage of that. But they are the home team. They are going to be up for this. We've had more time to prepare for it because of this international break. But mood's sort of gone like a little bit shaky considering we have a few injury problems. But you expect surely with the squad we have to get the job done and get the 3 points on Saturday. So I think we will get over the line, but it will be a difficult game.
Bradley Young is saying 1989 for the first time. I'm assuming that's the first time we played Swindon. Not sure about that. We'll have to look into that. Mad Mistake, what do you reckon for Saturday?
Well, apparently they've lost the main striker, Brett Pittman. He's out for a month. And
ex-Pompey man.
Pardon?
Ex-Portsmouth striker, isn't it?
Yeah, he did well for Portsmouth. He scored quite a few goals, and like about 80-odd games. He scored about 30-odd goals. He's played 4 matches so far for Swindon, scored 1 goal. So the main threat's out. And I think that I've heard on the radio they've got 1 or 2 other problems as well. So we're hitting them at the right time at this moment in time. It's a good time to play Swindon. It's a must win. We have to start winning these games if we want to compete with the top 2. We've got to be beating teams like Swindon. No disrespect to Swindon, but I think Swindon are going to struggle this season. Personally, I mean, last weekend they did dominate possession against Wimbledon and they had double of the shots of Wimbledon, but they were a bit like Sunderland. They had plenty of possession, but they couldn't score. They struggled to score in the final third. And I think these games, we've got to go on to win these games against Swindon. With Brett Pittman out, I think it's a must 3 points.
Well, on the chat, Stephen Hensel says thinks we're going to miss Flanagan, possibly. Bradley Young says we haven't met for 31 years in all competitions.
Wow.
31.
Oh,
God,
God.
that means
That was the final, yeah.
I was 3 years old. 4 years old, sorry. So, Conrad, Saturday, what do you expect?
I've learned to try not and second guess what Sunderland do, no matter what happens. Really, I'd like to think we go there and we'd get a win. The only person who's missing from the first team is Flanagan, suspended, and then Hume. I think did someone put today that he's picked up an injury, might be out for the weekend. So I don't know if he changes the system to have a go at them, maybe, or if he puts someone who's already played at left back before, like Diamond's played there in pre-season. Gooch played there last year a couple of times. So it'll be interesting to see how he changes the team, because the left centre back and the left back are both out for us. But I'd like to think we could win.
Yeah, on the chat down here, then there's apparently there is an injury to Hume. Wayne Duran is saying he's expecting a 4-4-2 after Phil Parkinson's press conference today. I've not seen it because, again, I've been out grafting all day delivering parcels, which means, whilst we're on about that, I must give a shout out to Tony Lee, who's an old friend of mine who I ended up delivering a parcel to yesterday. Knocked on his door and I couldn't believe it was him. And so there you go. Tino, Saturday, what do we think?
Well, you'd expect a win.
But I can feel a boat coming.
It depends what Sunderland turns up. It depends what team turns up. Is it going to be a team who's low on confidence going forward? Obviously, we've lost Tom Flanagan. We've got no backup, so that means he's going to have to shift the back three around. So either does O'Nien go into centre back for McLaughlin to go right back, and then you've got left back with Jack Diamond. That's the only option you've really got there. Is it time for Brandon Taylor to come in? I mean, if Brandon Taylor's not going to make the step up now, he's never going to make the step up, in my opinion. Obviously, you expect the 3 points. Swindon's just come up. The new to the league. We've got the experience. We've got the players to be able to beat Swindon. But it depends what Sunderland team turns up. I mean, if we turn up like we did against, what game was it? Bristol Rovers. There's a good chance Swindon could nick a point or maybe all three. So... Obviously, if the nick a win, it'll be devastating and there'll be a lot of angry fans. But you go into the game thinking you're going to win. I mean, there isn't a game where you shouldn't think you're going to win, apart from the teams who are going to be up there, like the likes of Charlton and the likes of Peterborough. So for me, the teams we've played, we've got good results. We need to win this game. Anything else than 3 points will be very disappointing, in my opinion.
Well, I can't see how we can not win it. I can. Well, I know you can. I know. Listen, if you'd have turned around and said we were going to win, then I would have been surprised. Just quickly on the chat, Scott Burt says, "How are the pants, man?" There you go, Dino. You got a bit of support there. Darren Ayres says, "Terry shrunk," which yes, he's a borrower tonight. Wow. Terry's come as a borrower. Also, Murph Denny, do you think Parky will play Wyke at centre back? Right, okay. Let's quickly go round and get your predictions then for Saturday. We'll start with Michael. Score prediction?
I think we will concede our first goal from open play. So Swindon 1, Sunderland 2. I think we should still have enough to beat them. And like Dino said, if we don't get a win, it's disappointing.
Disappointing if we don't get a win. I think it's a catastrophe, I reckon. Jacob, score prediction.
2-1 Sunderland away win. How are the lads?
2-1.
2-2-1s.
Again, right, 2-2-1s.
Yeah, I love a good 2-1.
Right. So, mad mistake?
Well, has no excuse not to go 4-4-2 on Saturday. 2 fit centre backs. There's no excuse not to go 4-4-2. I think we should probably go with Graham and Grigg up front. And I'm going for a comfortable 3-1 victory.
There you go.
So.
Right. Dino.
I think Swindon will go try and catch one on the counter, but I do think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think we will probably nick a goal, maybe a pen, maybe a set piece. So I think we'll go 1-0 Sunderland.
4-0 Swindon, did he say?
1-0 Sunderland.
God, it must be good. Conrad, then.
I think this is
Prediction.
this is the first time I haven't gone 1-0. We're going to smash them 3-0, probably more.
Hey,
Confident.
3-0,
Oh, God.
probably more. Good lad.
Let's hope we're not regretting this on
Oh,
Saturday.
Conrad, you can come back on.
I'm not
again.
on every week, so if it's not 3-0,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
you
hide
can
for a
get away
bit.
with it.
Yeah.
Who's your goal scorers?
Oh, all the midfielders, no strikers scoring again.
Just say
Classic.
Will Grigg hat trick. Let's have a Will Grigg hat trick. That'll go.
All right, it's got to be a defender, header from a corner.
John
Doesn't
Willis.
matter.
Well,
Well,
right. Go for us, yeah.
I'll put my prediction down before all you lot, and I've got my
5-0 Sunderland.
I've got my 3-1 is what I've gone. 3-1 Sunderland. I'd like to think we're not going to concede, but if 3-1 comes in, then my bet comes up anyway. So I always have me 3-1, me 3-1 on Sunderland. Right, was on about Denver Hume getting injured. And on the chat, Stephen Martin says, why do we always get bad injuries to new players? So I'm assuming he's talking about Jumanji or whatever his name is. What's his name again, Michael?
Jamali.
We'll go by that.
Just say
Jamali, Jumanji, Jamili,
Jumanji.
Jamili.
Jamal.
Let's call the whole thing off. Right, so he's out for the season, I believe. So that's another. Michael said before we came on, it's another reason not to like the international weekends.
Basically.
I've never seen him play, and obviously we're not going to see him all season. So, we're not going to know. I mean, I suppose if we go down the route of I was probably not very good anyway, then it lessens the blow. Do we think he's going to be a miss to us then, Conrad?
I think it's not that. It's that's wages now taken up that we have to pay for an entire year while he's not even going to play a game. We still got a transfer window open for, is it 1 or 2 more days for domestic anyway? And now we're stuck paying however much he cost us for the season, and he's not even going to have a run out.
Mm.
That's a very good point. You're very clever. You could be on all the time.
I
You're
save
gonna
it
show
up.
us-
There's
show us
3
that up.
weeks. My 3 week sort of breaks. I just go, right, I need to study this, study that, and then I've come on for one time.
Right. We've got score predictions coming in here already on the chat. Bradley says 3-1. Stephen says 3-0. Bobby Cowley 3-0. Chris Scott 2-0. 1-0 for David Walker. Oh, there's a nice 4-1 there. Adam French. That's what we like. And even Charlie, our friend at One Rovers Vlogs. Hello to our Bristol Rovers fan down there. He's saying 2-0 Sunderland. So once again, Charlie, you will be welcome back on here anytime you want. And Tommy says 2-1 as well. Jumanji, whatever we're calling him.
You had it right the first time.
What was that?
I don't know.
Just call him Jumanji why don't you just call him Jumanji as a recurring joke?
No.
I mean, it's a fair point what Conrad makes about the wages thing, wages taken up there. But I mean, is he going to be a miss? It's difficult when we've not seen him. Anybody?
You can't miss a player if you haven't seen him play. I mean, it's not like it wasn't like Bailey Wright when Bailey Wright came in for 3 games, looked really, really good, and then got injured and then couldn't play for the rest of the season. That's a miss. Shamali was just a fringe player. But obviously, we're going to miss having the backup there. That's the thing we're going to miss. I mean, I think we've only got 3 centre-backs now. One of them's obviously got a red card in Flanagan. So technically, we've only got 2 centre-backs. Actually, not Brandon Taylor. Sorry, I forget about him. But he's a very unproven player. And if he's going to break into the squad, it's got to be now. If he's not going to play him, he's not going to get. If you're not going to give him his chance and he doesn't step up to this level, he's not going to make it. unfortunately, this is the time you need to make it. This is where you need to step up. And it's against Swindon Town. No disrespect to Swindon. They've just come up from League Two. It's a good test for someone like Brandon Taylor.
Did anybody see what when he's been injured on international duty? Did anybody see him play or not?
Kosovo, I can't remember what
It
game
was in,
was.
wasn't it in
Don't tend
training?
to watch Kosovo when the international breaks are mine, Philly.
You what?
I don't tend to watch Kosovo when the international breaks are mine.
Well, you call yourself a football fan. I'll tell you
I don't
what.
watch
Didn't
Kosovo.
do your homework.
Right, mad mistake. You're trying to get in there.
Yeah, I've seen him play a couple of times. I've seen him. He looks decent up front. I think he was a threat inside the penalty. He looked decent for crosses. When it was like free kicks and that and the other, he seemed solid in defence. He looked assured on the ball. I think he's going to be. It would have been fighting Flanagan for position all season. So I think it's going to be a big miss. I want to give Carl Stewart a shout out. He's saying 3-1 for the score on Saturday. Same as me and we Philly. But we losing Feeney. Now we've lost Shamajli, so it's going to be a massive, massive blow. And according to the sources, Phil Pattinson's not going to buy anybody else. Stuart Dunn's not going to bring anybody else in. We might sneak a low knee, but that's about it. So with the centre backs we have now, that's it for the season. Right up until Christmas anyway. So if we get another in, we're going to be up shit creek.
Jacob, you was trying to get in there.
Yeah, it's a worrying sign with this injury to Amaji, because knowing Phil Parkinson at the moment, when he's found his formula in a system that with the current players he has, he very rarely shuffles his squad unless it's games in the EFL Trophy. I'm just wondering, because we let Ali Mostert go in the summer for free, didn't we? I just wonder what he's doing now. Could we give him a call, try and bring him back, offer him some sort of contract to come in? But someone tweeted today a list of centre-backs that we could go for going into the final day of the transfer window. Ryan Shotton was mentioned, Ashley Williams, Ben Hennigan, Curtis Tilt, and Jozo Simonovic, I think his name is.
And that was him.
Sorry, I couldn't pronounce this game.
Big fan.
Yeah, I think Parkinson's got to address this issue, but is he going to get any backing from the people upstairs? Nah, not in the slightest.
On the chat down here, Swindon are the dark horses of League One. Apparently, we need to watch out for them. But somebody's mentioned, obviously, it's the deadline day tomorrow for transfers for us, I believe. And David Walker says Parky's hinted to Nick Barnes there'll be no signings tomorrow, but hoping to get a free agent, bring someone in. So has anybody heard? And I mean, I'll be honest, I'd totally forgotten that. Of course, we've got till tomorrow that we could still actually bring someone in. Anybody heard anything, or do you agree with that? The more likely event is it would be a free agent. Jacob, you're trying to get in?
To be honest, if we were to get a free agent in, it would not surprise me in the slightest if Parkinson decides to give Ali Mostert a call and bring him back, because I don't think he's got a club at the moment. I mean, it's quite debatable what fans thought of Ali Mostert, but I thought to at least have in the squad, I think it was a little bit harsh that we didn't. I know his deal ran out, but he was still a decent centre-back for a League One team to have in a squad at least. And I think that we let him go on a free, knowing that we couldn't rely on the centre-backs we had staying fit for a full season. To potentially, could we bring him back even? I don't know.
Bring Tommy Smith back.
Have you, is there no free agents at Arsenal at your team?
Get David Luiz in.
1-0 Phil. I'm surprised anyone we can afford at the moment. Was it Conrad was saying, Jamaji, he's on wages that he's not playing to the end of the season, but we still have to pay him. It's wages completely wasted at the moment, but we still have to pay the player, so worrying signs.
Yep, fair dues. It's one of them things, and it's Dino, you're trying to get in?
Well, let's not forget we've had this problem for years where players have been injured non-stop. I mean, however, we had Watmore on a big chunk wage last last 2 seasons, and he was injured for most of it. Let's just be grateful we're not paying the bloke 15 to 20 grand a week, and it's only probably 2-3 grand a week instead. So, like, obviously, it's not good that he's injured, but we've had this problem for a lot of years now where players are injured, but they're on big wages. At least he's not on a big wage. I mean, you probably could get a couple of loan signings in, maybe from a Man United or an Arsenal, like a youngster, maybe get him in on loan, see what you can do. I mean, we've done it with Everton when we got Galloway and who was the other person, Browning. I know they didn't work out, but this is League One we're talking about. It shouldn't be hard to fit into a League One, like they play in League One from a Premier League team.
Well, Alfie AQ down here is saying we didn't give Tommy Smith a game. Why not try and bring him back?
He's got a club, I think.
What
Yeah,
was
he's got
that,
a team.
Jacob?
Yeah, he's got a club. I think it was something like Shrewsbury. I think he went to. I think
Is that the same as Shrewsbury?
Shrewsbury. Sorry, I pronounced it. Yeah, I'm sure he's got. I'll go and check it now. But also Joel Lynch, who he still hasn't got a club at the moment. Ali Mostert, looking at this, it looks like he's gone back to a club in Turkey. But Joel Lynch, I didn't mind him, to be fair. I mean, he offered experience when we got him. He came from, I think it was Queen's Park Rangers, so he's got experience playing in League 1 and 2. Should we potentially even look at bringing him back?
I mean, is there anybody out there who you think we should be trying to grab? Dino?
Doesn't that show how bad our recruitment team is and the management team is for letting players who we did need go? I mean, we've done the same last season with Reece James and Oviedo. You've got to keep one for cover, but we've let nearly all the centre-backs go, and now we need centre-backs more than ever now. I mean, you should have at least kept either Lynch, Ozturk or Tommy Smith for this season, and we'll let them go, and now we're showing, like, it's costing we now. It's costing we big time.
Yeah, well, just very, very quickly, apparently, I've lost him. Tommy Smith's at Colchester now, apparently. Conrad, we'll get you, then we'll come to you, Mad Mistake. Conrad?
Oh, no, it's just you said, is there anyone out there who wants to play? And I just said, like I said to Michael earlier on, I'll have a go. I'll play for him.
Why not?
Next to Bailey Wright.
Mad Mistake?
Yeah, I don't like defending Stuart Donald. I don't like defending Phil Pattinson. But you can't predict injuries. You can't predict Feeney's going to be out for a couple of months. You can't predict Jamaj is going to be out for like the whole season. So we had a couple of centre-backs go. Yes, we took chances on the younger lads coming in, but they're both injured. You'd expect probably the older brigade to get injured more than the younger lads. So for me, they took a chance on letting Ozturk go. They took a chance on letting the other lad go. And they brought in 2 young lads, but it's unfortunate they're getting injured. You cannot predict these things. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Just my opinion, that's all.
Robert Foster on the chat says, does Jamal G, does he count with the salary cap? I mean, I'm not sure how it all works anyway. It's
under a certain age, I think.
So
isn't it under 21 or something?
Yeah,
but I'm sure he's 22, but I could be wrong there.
Well, yeah. Well, somebody's saying he's 21 here.
21 as well.
I don't know.
Maybe.
People are saying Kyle Lafferty back.
Centre back.
I'd take him, but we won't afford him.
Well,
For a centre back.
I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah, he's big enough.
Why not?
Stick Charlie White there instead.
Right. Okay. Apparently, we've had it out on the social media, and Conrad's got some questions have come in. Have you? Can you chuck something at us, Conrad?
Got one here. One of them, we had one that was a very, very layered question, so I might sort of keep that one back a minute for now. But I had one here from Caleb11488. Do any of you believe in your hearts that Will Grigg will finally find his feet and start propelling Sunderland to promotion? Then he put, I do.
Well, I can. Well,
I think we know what Phil thinks.
I've got every faith in it, but the first problem with it is he's got to be given the chance to play. If he's not given the chance to play, then it isn't going to happen. So, if Phil Parkinson would play Will Grigg, right, and then he fails, then fair dues. But I think it's very unfair if he doesn't get played and then he's classed as this failure, you know. So for me, I'd like to think so. I've got my bet on that he'll be the league's top scorer, though that's looking more like I should be cashing in on that already. Mad Mistake, you got views on Will Grigg, haven't you?
Exactly the same as you. Phil Pattinson won't give him a chance, won't give him a start. Phil Pattinson doesn't really rate him, doesn't want him in the side, to be fair. As far as I can understand, I think Will Grigg should be given at least 6-7 games constantly, possibly go 4-4-2 with Graham as well and give them both a few games each. But he's not going to get a start. Phil Pattinson, not really got plans for Will Grigg, to be fair, so I feel sorry for Will Grigg a little bit in that sense. But it's one of those things. I think he'd rather play Charlie White.
Well, yeah. On the chat, David Algar says maybe this is Grigg's weekend. Hopefully. I mean, I know Mad Mistake said earlier you'd like to think that Grigg and Graham were up front in a 4-4-2. For me, that would be a dream start. It's Bobby Cowley on the chat says if Parkinson doesn't play Grigg, then he won't score. You know, which is you know what we're saying. Dino, Will Grigg?
Well, I've said I think Sunderland's got some of the worst strikers in the league, and I think that's what's going to let it down. Obviously, I believe Grigg is the best striker we've got, but I just don't think he can score the goals like he used to. I don't think we supply the service to him, and I think his confidence is all to bits. I mean, he can't gain any confidence if he isn't getting a game and he's getting dropped for somebody who can't hit a barn door. So for me, no, I think if Grigg was going to do it, he would have done it last season. I know he didn't get his chances, but he does get chances now and again, and he doesn't take them. So for me, no, unfortunately, Grigg's still the same old. He's not going to score. I don't even believe any of the strikers will get over 10 goals this season.
Oh, I know, but the thing is, Dino, I mean, it's like we're playing Swindon, right? We're still, you know, I mean, we're flying. If we bang 4 in against Swindon at the weekend, even you are going to be going, whoa, you're going to be smiling, you'll be all happy. No.
No, but the thing is, Phil, we'll score 4 against, if we score 4 against Swindon, I guarantee none of the strikers will be on the score sheet. It'll be everyone else around them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only go so long without your strikers scoring, because it was showed last season where McGeady dried up, Chris Maguire was drying with the goals up. He wasn't scoring as many as he was. Sometimes you need your striker step forward, and we don't have that.
Well, see, I get what you're saying. I know you want your strikers scoring, but to be honest, any of our strikers could not score all season if we're winning every game. I don't really give a.
Well. Let's say this, Philly. Right? Say we kept Madja the first season, we would have went up. We lost Madja, and everyone else had to start scoring goals, and that's where it failed with. Because if we had Madja, we would have scored them goals what we needed to go up. That just shows you need a good striker.
Right, Jacob, you're trying to get in there.
Speaking of strikers, I know it's not quite working out in the strike. I personally have confidence that it will take at least either O'Brien or Graham to at least get one, and that could give them a whole load of confidence to potentially get a few more over a consistent run of games. But we have a guy playing in the under-23s at the moment who not only put in, from what I hear, a brilliant performance against the Mags under-23s and a 4-0 win, but also a good performance against Sheffield United in the middle of the week as well. Benji Kimmioka. Is now the time for him to come back into the side and be given an opportunity, because he can provide something that this side lacks so much at the minute, particularly in the final third at the minute, and that is pace. And I think the guy's still only 20, and I still think he's not really been given a fair chance, particularly to make a difference in league games yet. So he could be the missing piece to the jigsaw if we're going to go up this season. You never know if we give him like a fair chance and a consistent run of games in the team.
Just before we bring you, Dino, quickly on the chat, Chris Scott says, just to clarify, Terry doesn't like Parkinson. I think we know that already. But also, Chris Scott says Dino is spot on. So David Walker, he agrees with Dino as well. Glyn Jones says Grigg has had chances. Kevin Phillips, grabbed his chances from the off. Right, that's fair enough. However, I remember Niall Quinn when he came to the club for a couple of seasons was not very good. I mean, he got
injured, wasn't he?
He got slated. I tell you honestly, did we? You know, we used to call him a useless ironing board and all sorts. And then all of a sudden, he came good. So the thing is Grigg, for me, Grigg hasn't had enough of a chance to be classed as a failure. I'm going to bring Dino back in, then I'll go to you, Michael. Dino?
Well, on the Benji thing, I mean, Benji's one of them players who will always shine in under 20. It's like he's too good for under 23s, but when he plays in the first team, he looks like he should be dropped back down to the under 23s. Every time I've seen Benji, he looks too raw. Like he's trying skills in the 80th minute when we need goals. With Benji, I don't know what it is. Like every time he steps on the pitch, he just looks nervous. He's always trying to impress, and he doesn't. He just gives the ball away constantly. I know he was probably getting played out wide, but he's got bags of pace. But I think he's one of them players who's got bags of pace, but no end products.
Well, Stu Shaw on the chat says Benji should at least be on the bench.
Yeah.
But Chris Scott says Parkinson doesn't even give Diamond a chance, so you've got no chance for Benji. Fair point, really. Michael, you're trying to get in?
On the striker situation, I think there's a few things to consider when it comes to Will Grigg. Firstly, yes, Will Grigg has had opportunities, obviously starting opportunities in games. However, has Will Grigg really been given a chance since under Parkinson we've started playing football on the deck? And when I'm saying on the deck, I mean like get it down the wings and get the ball across the box a lot more. I don't think he has. I think apart from Hull in the Cup and Bristol Rovers in the league, he hasn't really, in this particular system and style of play, he hasn't really been given a chance for me. He's only had 2 starts at the very most. And that is the biggest thing with Parkinson, is that he keeps on dropping and changing his forwards all the time, which if you're wanting your strikers to have a consistent run of games and give them the best chance of scoring, don't change them every single match. That's, I can understand to a point if you're going to try and have strikers to suit particular opponents. But like, again, I'm trying very hard not to mention Charlie White. So I'm going to try and avoid him. Graham and Graham.
Mention him.
Yeah, do it.
Do you want us to go on a rant about him again?
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Okay, Charlie White. Fine, okay. Charlie White, for me, is, put it this way, I like him a lot more than, say, James Vaughan, but he is the equivalent of Donkey from Shrek up front. He is not, he does not offer anything in terms of going forward. And even it's not just the fact he doesn't score goals, it's the fact he can't hold the ball up, he either can't or doesn't use his physicality well enough. And the main thing, in front of goal, he's useless. Grigg, I think, at least has shown a lot more promise in pre-season. Yes, it's pre-season, but you need to be involved in pre-season to have a chance of being involved regularly in the team. I think if you give Grigg a chance with, say, Graham, for example, Graham, I think, is an intelligent football for this level in how he positions himself, how he uses the technical quality that he has. I'd like to see that being given a go, but Parkinson won't do it. We know. I'm pretty confident Grigg will not start at the weekend, so. I'd like to think Grigg could do it in this particular system and style of play if we get the ball across the box a lot. We do create. It's not like we don't create chances. We do. Whereas under Jack Ross, I don't think we're creating that many chances for Will Grigg. So I get what Dino's saying. You've had opportunities, but I'd give him a goal. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, it's a fair point you make. I mean, we could play Grigg every game, but if we're not playing to Will Grigg's strength, then we've got to give him service. That's what we've got to do. Grigg's got to have service to at least have a chance of banging him in. Glyn Jones on the chat says Quinn had a bad knee injury when he first joined the club. Well, I still remember him. At first not being very good. Before he came brilliant and was superb. And that Adam French says we need Dino on the SAFC coaching staff. Dino, what do you think of that? Would you be up for that?
I can't barely play football, let alone coach it. So not a good idea. Like I probably show Charlie White how to finish, but.
Hey, I saw your through ball. I saw your through ball for Sean on the 5-a-side thing. You'd be right good for Will Grigg.
For Grigg, I mean White. White needs the coaching.
Yeah, true.
All right, Mad Mistake, are you trying to get in there?
I completely agree with Michael to do with Will Grigg, apart from the only time I've seen a defence split and pass to Will Grigg and he scored was from Dan Neil. So maybe he's, instead of putting the ball out wide constantly all the time and hoofing the ball into the box to a small man, get the ball down on the ground and pass it through the defence to Will Grigg so Will Grigg can peel off the defenders and put the ball in the back of the net. I watched that game against, I forget who it was now, but Charlton would put the ball in the box for the first half. And one of the games where I think might have been even Peterborough, and they were just heading the ball away all the time in the first half. We want the ball on the ground to Will Grigg, to his feet, not to his head.
All right, quickly on the chat. There's a few people agreeing with Michael with what he said there. Bradley Young, he agrees with you. Glyn Jones, spot on about Wyke. Michael. Chris Scott, we've done this already, but do Arsenal have any decent players we can loan Jacob? But he's obviously missed. We've done that already.
We've done that one, yeah. Old news.
Conrad, Will Grigg, what are your thoughts on it then?
Like Terry said, I think you should just be given a run of games. You can't keep chopping and changing every week and just going like, right, well, you didn't score this week, so you're out. We'll give someone else a go. And in one of the games that we played this season against Hull, who were on a good run until Friday night, he scored twice. All right, dodgy handball from Luke O'Nien and a marginal offside, but he's still the only one who's put the ball in the back of the net out of all of our strikers so far. Like, why aren't we playing him?
So do we think he'll get a start this weekend then? I'll go around Joel and see what you think,
No.
Michael.
Should, but I don't think he will.
No, Jacob?
Even though what Terry said, I want Sunderland to play that way. Phil Parkinson, he plays with width, and Will Grigg, for that reason, he won't be in the starting lineup. He likes crosses coming into the box with a big hold-up target striker like Wyke and Graham, so he won't start.
Oh, God, you've made me depressed already. Mad mistake. Do you think he's going to get a start?
How a Philly, you already know the answer to this. You know what
I know. Rumbled.
He's not starting on Saturday. He's not going to start unless we don't score any goals.
Well, Dino, come on, you cheer me up. You're a man who likes to cheer people up.
Graham will start. White will come on. Grigg will still be on the bench sitting there doing nothing.
Oh,
He's probably not
frustrating. Conrad, realistically, is Grigg going to start Saturday?
No. Simple. No.
No.
God, I'm fed up
Could
now.
just right off scoring if Charlie White
I
starts.
said earlier on, sometimes it's depressing being a Sunderland fan, isn't it, lads?
Oh.
Sometimes.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
The only way Will Grigg's going to start, right, is if I don't want to see any players getting injured, but if Feeney and Jamajli didn't get injured and it was maybe Wyke and Graham, then Will Grigg would get 100% start. That's the only way, but I mean, you don't want any players at all getting injured. But for me, that's the only way Grigg's going to get a start. If those two are absolute tatties for 3 or 4 games, he might get a look in.
Nah, he won't. He'll put O'Brien up front, or he'll bring Benji in as well, just so Grigg doesn't start. Guaranteed.
Got a £4 million striker on the bench and you don't play him. What's going on at Sunderland?
But don't forget, that's Jack Ross's signing.
Do this.
Yeah.
Only do this.
Well, it's not even Jack Ross's signing. That was Stuart
No,
Donald's
it
signing.
was
Jack Ross
Stuart
says
Don-
don't buy
Yeah,
him.
they had no
It was
say
Stuart
at all.
Donald signing.
Make it up.
Yeah, Jack Ross said don't buy him.
Jack Ross did want Will Grigg, just not at the price that we ultimately paid for him.
Thing is,
We're going to make this season so difficult, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
the thing is, you know, I mean, Will Grigg must be looking at this fixture on Saturday and thinking, I mean, no disrespect to Swindon. And in fact, to be honest, I mean, we had Swindon in our SAFC Fan TV Prediction League. We had him at 10th. However, we do know that there was only 10th and 1st available when we got down to Swindon. So no disrespect to Swindon, but I mean, Will Grigg must be looking at that fixture. And, you know, if he's not getting picked, I mean, how frustrating is that, Mad Mistake?
I've got a question from Carl Stewart whenever you want to take it.
Right, well, we'll do it after this. Joseph Billingsley says, drop Wyke and Danny Graham and have Grigg and Maguire up front.
Is
Well, you
Maguire
know
not
what I mean?
injured still? Maguire's still not injured.
No,
Is
I
he
think he's
injured
back.
still?
No,
Is
I
he
think
back?
he's
Is he?
back.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's
been
back.
training this week.
Right, okay. Well,
Michael,
that's there you go,
Michael,
Joseph. That's that blown out the water for you. Right, man, mistake. You got a question?
Right, Carl Stewart asks, if you could bring any ex-Sunderland player back, who would it be and why? I'm going to start with Jermaine Defoe because we need a goddamn goal scorer.
Right, okay. Well, I'll have a go. And it's funny because when I was out delivering my parcels, because if you didn't know, I am a grafter and I work like 6
Yes,
days
we
a week
are
now,
aware.
like delivering parcels. It's like having a proper job, and I've never really had like a proper job. All right. my wife's being rude. Behave. And when I was out, and again, I delivered a parcel to a pal of mine, and he was saying, he was behave. He was saying about
get
when we
2 and
picked
3.
when we picked our team, when we picked our best Sunderland 11, and of course Tony Lee, he's around about my age, and he was saying, how come Dave Watson and different ones didn't get in? And of course, I was outvoted because you're all dead young, well, apart from Terry, and you's all outvoted us. So if I was to bring an ex-Sunderland player back, I would like to see Gary Rowell play again. I mean, I remember
Number
I was
But
one
at his
is
age
Gary
now,
Rowell.
at his age now.
Behave yourself.
Right.
No,
Fine.
no, well, the question like in their prime or right now, like is in.
No, I
the
think
age
the
now?
question is if you
I
could
think
bring.
it's right now, but it's just my opinion. That's why I picked Defoe.
Well,
Bring
is
Conor
it
Maguire
well?
to the early 90s.
Well, all right then. So I can't go for
I
old
don't
players. I
want-
mean,
Who do you want?
I
Dino,
remember
you've wrecked his mood.
I
You've
was
wrecked
at
his mood, Dino.
I was at Bolton Wanderers when it was Burnden Park before a lot of you were even probably born, and Gary Rowell was on the bench, and I'd never heard of him, and I remember him coming on, and he was just brilliant. But if I've missed the question, and it's somebody to bring back who could slip into the team now, then it would be, I don't know, Gareth Hall or somebody like that, possibly. Yes, it's a joke. All right, thanks for laughing. Well, go
I
on
don't
to
know who
somebody
Gareth
else
Hall
then.
is.
There you go,
I don't know
Jacob did it for
I
you.
don't know who Gareth Hall is. He could be a next door neighbour for all I know.
Oh, for goodness sake,
No,
man!
he
You're
was
not that
awful.
young. There's no way you're that young, especially you, Dino. You must be in your 30s.
Nearly 30, mate. Nearly 30.
Nearly 30. Are you only
Nearly
nearly 30?
I'm only nearly 30, mate.
Are you not 30 yet?
No, 30
Me,
stone.
Dino, and
30
Jacob are in our
stone, but
20s, man.
not 30 age.
What's that, Bowers?
I said me, Dino, and Jacob are in our 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, mighty.
That was a
In
long
our-
time
in our
ago for
prime.
Phil. That was a long time ago for Phil.
All right then. All right.
Oh!
Dino's in the mood tonight.
All right,
Just noting down
Dino.
that time code for a fight on Twitter so I can clip it up.
Yeah.
Right, Dino, you can bring somebody back then apparently from the past, but not too far back. Otherwise, they're going to be
Not
too
too
old to
far
play.
back. You know
James
what?
Vaughan.
Defoe's not a bad show at all, to be honest. But you know what? We need someone who's really creative, and the only person I could really think of who's creative, I can't really think of anyone. But I like Jan Via. He had a bit of both about him, bit of both up and down. He could score goals, create, and defend.
Right,
That's the one of the
okay.
players
Then
we should have went for.
I still say Gary Rowell, even at his age now, would be better than Charlie White, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I agree.
Anyone's better than Charlie White, man, Phil. Charlie White is just not on this planet of how good he is. He's not good in the slightest.
Can I
Well,
ask a question? Oh, sorry, go on.
all right, go on, Michael.
Can I ask a question for Dino? I'm curious to know his thoughts on this. Who do you think is worse, Charlie White or James Vaughan?
Like,
Wyke every day of the week. At least James Vaughan could actually run
Yeah.
and like run with the
Yes.
ball. I mean, Charlie White can't do anything.
James
don't
Vaughan had an
Vaughan was
attitude
better than
problem.
White, but there you go.
That's one's
No, I
dog.
just wanted to hear Dino's thoughts on that. That was all.
Conrad, then you can bring bring your next player back, who would it be?
Just because I absolutely loved him. He can play centre defensive mid and a centre back, so he could fill in at the moment. He was a leader and he was hard as nails. Lorik Sana, just to smash some of these players in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I'm almost certain. In fact, he was. Lorik Sana came into, I mean, back when I used to be a DJ, which is like, I can't remember. It's that long ago since I've done it. He came into the bar I was working in. And I mean, I didn't recognize him because I don't recognize people, but he was in it. He was good for that, but he was a canny little player as well. He was all right. Good drinker as well. Jacob, you can bring anybody back from the dim and distant past, which probably is about the last 4 years. Is that?
I'm going to go for someone with a lot of trickery, a lot of skill. Definitely do well on the showboat on Soccer AM. Someone to excite the crowd. Stefan Sessignon for me. Yeah, just when he's on the ball, just excites the crowd. Every time he got the ball, just wants to go forward with it. Just looks like he could make something happen all the time. I just miss him playing in a red and white top so much. He's 36 now, but I'd still have him back. He could do a job up front as well.
Well, you're selling him.
I know somebody who was very good on Soccer AM as well.
Oh, nice. Couldn't find that basket to save your life, could you?
I'll tell you what, that was nutty. I'll tell you what, now all you got to do, you got to hit the goal. That's all you got to do. I'll tell you what, that was a lot harder than it looked. So that's my excuse. Chris Scott, I don't know if this is a compliment, if he's taking the proverbial. Get wee Philly up front. He's an improvement on White. You cheeky. I don't know. All right, fair dues. Thanks, Chris Scott. Michael? I forgot what the question was. Oh, yeah, go on. Anybody you can bring back.
Main answer would be Jermaine Defoe, but I'm going to go with another shout out here, even though you'll probably get injured ridiculously. Jan Kirchhoff. I think Jan Kirchhoff was someone who dictated Jan Kirchhoff dictated the middle of the park whenever he played, and that was in the Prem. Yes, he might be 35 or so now, but what the hell? Why not?
Well, Kirchhoff, again, and we mentioned it the other week. I mean, he was brilliant, but if anybody remembers his debut, oh, dear me, we was watching that and thinking, God, we bought a right donkey.
All 4 goals his fault away at Tottenham or something like that on his debut, and he only came on at 60 minutes.
I think he gave away a penalty as well.
Yeah. All his fault. He played half an hour, 4 goals.
The funny thing is, I remember when I think when we drew at Newcastle, and I remember Newcastle had Gini Wijnaldum there, John Joe Shelby, Andros Townsend. That was over about 50, it was something like 40 million or 50 million pounds spent on those players, especially like Shelby and Wijnaldum in the centre of the park, and Kirchhoff bossed the pair of them, which was ridiculous.
So Kirchhoff, was his debut, was it against Jacob's rivals?
Yes.
It was.
Phil's trying to sneak back in on the jokes tonight.
Boom!
The S is coming down, Jacob.
I remember watching that game with mates, and I think they referred to him as the German traffic cone because his debut was that bad. But after that, what Bowers was at that Newcastle game, was it Gini Wijnaldum, John Joe Shelby had them in their back pocket, just controlled the middle of the park so well. He was skillful as well. He could provide chances at the other end of the pitch and also protect the back 4 very well. It's just a shame his Sunderland career was just shortened because of injuries.
Michael?
I was going to say, one of my mates called Carl, who's of the adopted Mackem, who was on here a while back. He said that no one's mentioned Julio Arca, Darren Bent or Fraser Campbell.
Fairly... Well, Fraser Campbell, I'm not sure about
Fraser
that.
Campbell, nah, I think Fraser Campbell was a bit
not in League One. I think Campbell would do pretty well.
He was very overrated, that bloke, I would say. Like,
few on the live chat are saying Mad Mackem 88 says Big Don Hutchinson. So if you remember him, Stefan Sessignon again, Kevin Ball. Kevin Ball says down there. Andrew Robbins, who is another serial online shopper who I deliver to. Imagine a midfield with Mvia and Sana. He'd be pretty good. That was
my 2 centre mid pairing. I said when we're done the
same
best 11. That was my pairing.
Now it was getting through our midfield with them too.
Right. Drawn on Dania says, who's worse, Dino? I don't know if this is who's worse, Dino, Charlie Wake, or Josie Altidore, or whether it's who's worse, Dino, Charlie Wake, or Josie Altidore.
To be honest, they both had the same finishing capabilities. They couldn't finish the ball to save a life, but Josie Altidore actually had a good first touch. He could actually hold the ball up, and he had a bit of pace about him. I know he couldn't dribble because he just ran off the pitch most of the time, but Josie Altidore had better attributes than Charlie Wyke, and always will be.
All right. We'll go to Michael, then we'll come to you, Conrad.
I think out of that question, Wyke easily. I think even though Altidore's finishing was left a lot to be decided, that was in a much higher level. I think if you had Altidore in this team right now, I think he would boss a lot of League One defenders. I'd put a statement. I think if you had Altidore, I think Altidore would be top goal scorer in this league, or at least one of them.
Right, fair enough. Conrad, you trying to get in there?
Yeah, with Altidore, it was just the thing with him was, what was it? 1 week against West Ham at half time. Simple ball 3 yards out from the goal line. And he stands on it and then spins around because he doesn't know where it's gone. Next week at St James's Park, he's Cruyff turning it through to Jack Colback to score a goal. You just didn't know which one you were going to get from him. It was amazing.
Oh, what a
right on the chat again. Colin Major down here says Pop Robson for me, for him. See again, it's another player that probably only me and Terry saw, but Brian Robson, Pop Robson, just superb. He was a brilliant striker. I remember again being away at Cardiff when Cardiff played at Ninian Park. In fact, it was my very first away game way back when everything on the telly was in black and white and stuff like that. And I think we needed a win to get promoted, and I think we drew 1-1. And I'm almost certain it was Pop Robson who scored. But again, another brilliant player. So some good choices. I mean, Lee Cattermole there. They're saying, see, there's would we not have Lee Cattermole back? Of course you would, but
Well, he's retired anyway.
He's retired now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I mean,
and I still can't believe we didn't give that bloke a testimonial. Don't get it how we didn't give him a testimonial game.
Joe, what else I didn't get though? We let Lee. Weren't we still paying Cattermole's wages even after we let him go? So it's like
we did for most players, to be honest, Michael. Let's be fair.
That's a standard thing.
If you're still paying his wages, why not keep hold? Unless he wanted to go, why not keep hold of him?
Well, speaking of testimonials, actually there was a point made. Mickey Gray did an interview I watched a few weeks ago, and testimonials were always, they were a reward for a player that's, they could get a nice little earner from a testimonial as a thank you from the club for giving 10 years. And Mickey Gray was due a testimonial, and Niall Quinn got offered one just before. And of course, if you remember, Niall Quinn's testimonial was against the Republic of Ireland, and he donated all the proceeds to to charity. And basically, Mickey Gray was saying in an interview, back then, I mean, players have been paid well. I mean, it's stupid wages now, but a testimonial was like I said, was a nice earner for them. But then once Niall Quinn then donated everything to charity, it made it very difficult then for another player to have a testimonial and then go, oh yeah, I'm going to take all the money, and so.
Well, that's up to them, though. That you shouldn't be ashamed if you want the money for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be earning any more money because you're retired. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to, if it's your last chance to earn some money, why not? If Niall Quinn wants to donate, you don't have to follow in his footsteps. I mean, let's be fair. The bloke's retiring; he's not going to have a wage coming in anymore. Yeah,
but that's all right saying that though, Dino. But there'll always be people saying, you're greedy, so and so.
Well, let them. Do you know what I mean? It's other people's opinions. Let them have it. As long as you're all going to be all right. That's the thing. People care too much about what other people say. I mean,
Well-
if that's not change your mind, how God's sake.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what are other people?
Put you in
what
your
other
place
people-
tonight.
He's fuming
Well,
with
no, I just think
testimonials.
that-
Oh,
The other
Dino-
thing is, Catamol deserved one. Catamol did deserve one. Let's be fair. I mean, he was
Did
he
he
was in the
though?
Prem with us for years. Yeah, of course he did, man. He stayed,
He's
was with
part
us
of
for
2
years in
teams
the
that went
Prem.
down.
but he was only part of the team that went up.
All right,
Do you know what I mean?
then,
Like, he
Yeah,
didn't.
one.
He's still with us for 10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
that's very rare these
Yeah.
days. It's very rare these days. It's a player's with you for 10 years.
Well, you don't really. I mean, there's you see very few testimonials nowadays, don't you? And it's but again, because of the wages that footballers are paid now, you know, can you justify it? I mean, I know Dino, your opinion on it is, well, you know, I mean, what if the likes of, you know, Rashford or Sterling or somebody like that are offered a testimonial and they took the money? How would you feel about that? You
Well,
think?
let's be fair. Marcus Rashford's doing other things for kids,
Yeah.
for school meals and stuff like that. I mean, the bloke can do what he wants. At the end of the day, it's his life. If he wants to keep the money or to give it a
NBA.
charity, that's entirely up to him. Who am I to say, oh, that's greedy? It's up to him. It's got nothing to do with me.
Do you not think the public and the press would have a field day?
Let them. Let's
Well,
be
they
fair. The
wouldn't
press is
care
full
in
of
the
shit
slightest.
anyway.
Yeah.
The fucking press
well
is full
said.
of shit anyway.
All right,
Oh,
mad mistake. You're trying to get in there.
Yeah, I completely agree with Dino. Lee Catamol should have been given a testimonial or the opportunity, and people can do what the hell with the money, what they want to do with it. It's up to them.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
disputing.
like, say for example, right, you go on a millionaire on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Someone wins a millionaire and says, I'm going to give it all to charity. And then you won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You win. What are you going to do? Give it to charity because your person did, or people are going to call you greedy because you won £1 million?
No, it depends
Ask
who you
Chris
are, though.
Tarrant.
It depends who you are, though, doesn't it? I mean, why do you know when they let celebrities on these quiz programs and stuff like that? They don't say, "Oh, I've won all this money." It's then donated to charity because it's seen as the right thing to. I'm not. Listen, hang on. I'm not disputing whether you should be able to take the money or not. What I'm trying to say is it's how you then perceived, you know, it could do you more harm, right, than good by not doing that. I think. Michael, you're trying to get in?
Well, I kind of get both arguments here, but I mean, when you're talking about the likes of Sterling and Rashford, just as I know it was as examples, but say if they just took all the money from a testimony, to be honest, the likes of Raheem Sterling gets ridiculed by the English press for whatever stupid reason anyway.
Exactly.
So, you know, a lot of people see, it's one of the, I mean, I know this isn't directly relevant to Sunderland, but like, it annoys me that the press seem to have a massive issue with some of the players that play for the England national team. And I'm talking away from football and reasons like, oh, Raheem Sterling buys his mother a house or something. Oh, how dare he spend the money that he's earned across the course of his career? Can the press just give it a bloody rest
Yes,
already?
that's been going on for years, Michael. With the
Yeah,
Put it
but
this
just
way,
give it a
right?
rest.
Put it this way,
Ridiculous.
like, someone like Raheem Sterling, for all we know, is donating part of his wages to like some
Yeah, he could be.
charity. I mean,
Yeah.
but that never gets reported.
Yeah, exactly.
That stuff doesn't get reported. It's when they're doing other stuff, it gets reported. I mean, there's a load of footballers out there who donate to certain charities and stuff like that, help out, and it doesn't get reported. But when they do something wrong, they're quick to jump on it. At the end of the day, what?
No, go on. I'll let you finish. Go on.
At the end of the day, if someone wants to keep money, take money, as long as they're entitled to it, that's fair enough. If you're entitled to £1 million and it's your choice to give it to charity or keep it, that's entirely up to you. Who are other people to say you've got to give it to charity? That's greedy. You've earned loads through your career. It's got nothing to do with anybody.
The problem is that negative stories sell more than positive ones. That's the issue.
True.
That's the world we live in today.
Conrad's trying to get in, by the way.
Conrad, what are you trying to say?
I just wanted to say while we're all arguing, I agree with Dino on his Wickham rant last week that Wickham shouldn't have been allowed to play in the playoffs.
Listen, you can't. Listen, we've got literally a minute left, and you now
Sorry,
He
I
pretty
had
now
to. I
start
had
the
to.
Wickham thing all over
Oh,
again.
God.
It's
I had to,
nonsense.
sorry.
It's nonsense. How can you? Oh, I'm not getting.
Like, when
Very
they're in
started
it, when they're in it, I was happy. It's just if you say you don't want to play, well, you're not in the playoffs. Then that was it. That's
Funny,
the-
isn't it?
Yeah,
Goes from
end of
charity to
story.
Wigan. Goes
Yeah.
from charity to Wigan.
No, but
At
it's
the,
still.
at the end of the day, the problem was with the EFL. There you
Listen,
go.
You
it's
just need
still,
Harry Hill going, fight.
listen, it's still,
Too
It's
late
taking
for that.
that now.
it still boils down to, and because you wasn't on, Conrad, all right, like we said, if Sunderland had been in that position, right, and had voted to finish the league like they did, and then ended up
Absolutely.
in the playoffs, won the playoff final, and got promoted to the championship,
Absolutely.
would you then complain the same way that you are with Wickham? Would you?
No, I'd be looking down laughing at them. But
Well,
I
there you
still...
Right.
Can I ask Jacob a question?
What?
Jacob, Jacob, as they were threatening to have another argument, have you got any more of them sweets, lad?
No, not this week.
Oh,
mate. No.
shame.
Right,
Shame.
listen, we're going to give the last word to the Mad Mistake.
Right, on Saturday, I'm doing my first live stream as a one-off live stream for SAFC Fan TV. I might need a couple of moderators who can watch out for the comments. If nobody on this panel has the time to do it, then I'll need a couple of moderators. So if anybody wants to put the name forward, let me know somehow, somewhere.
Is there
somewhere.
a job interview process?
Well, I would have gladly done that for you. But as you know, I'm a grafter because I'm
Going
all
out
the
to
time.
deliver these
Parcels,
parcels.
parcels.
Delivering
Right, postman
parcels.
Pat.
And parcel force.
And it's black and white. Car.
Someone who makes
Well,
me make
guaranteed
Wee Philly Postman Pat.
After that game on Saturday.
Right, so if you can do that, if you can help out the Mad Mistake for our channel, he's doing a live stream, and you'd like to take on the role as a moderator, then please get in touch, and we'll sort that out. Michael, even though I was giving the Mad Mistake the last word, you've decided to steal his thunder right at the death. Go on then.
All I'll say is, if Terry does the live stream and we end up winning, he's got to do the live stream for SCFC Fan TV every single game for the rest of the season.
I don't know. I don't think that good.
Oh, I thought you meant Sunderland.
Terry,
All right.
Terry,
He's
don't
the
throw
best.
something back in.
Listen.
What did you say?
The Mad Mistake is the best ever.
I'm listening to
So,
the music. I don't know what clue what you're talking about.
Do what you said.
right. Look, thanks for joining us, everybody. Please hit the like button. If you're watching this back, it's not live. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We've got to get these subscribers up if we can. And if you've already subscribed, get a friend to subscribe if you do
friend.
that. We will be back. Of course, the Mad Mistake will be doing his live stream for us on Saturday, so make sure you tune into that. We will be back on Sunday to analyse Sunderland's massive win down at Swindon. So join us for that as well. So from myself, Wee Philly, from Michael Bowers, from Jacob Kirkbride, from the Mad Mistake, from Dino, and from Conrad, we'll say good night, and we will see you back on Sunday. Bye-bye.